All right, the recorder is going, and it is picking us up, so we're going to see how my phone goes.
Right.
Am I sitting on the couch?
Yes, right here.
Excellent.
I will sit over here.
Is that video? Is that it?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Okay, so it's going to be corny because I'm going to press recording and sit down. What do you think about this angle real quick? It's shit. I know it's terrible. We're recording off my phone. The only reason it's facing this way is because my camera's busted on the other side. What do you think about this? Maybe
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, I like
I think
it.
it looks good.
You think it'll work?
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Okay. So, I'm going to do my little introduction, then I'm going to have you introduce yourself.
All right.
You know what? I'm going to introduce you, but then I'm going to have you introduce you.
Gotcha.
So, you ready?
Yeah.
I can't wait till I get professional stuff.
Oh, yeah, that looks great.
That looks amazing. Are we recording? We are not recording. Yes, we are.
Oh.
Okay, so. Hello. It's your main man, Sean Something to Write to Lewis. And this is Let's Do an Interview episode number, I think, 5. And as you can tell, we are sitting in a different area. I am sitting where usually our guests are sitting. But today, I have a guest who comes with one body. And this is Mr. Nathan from Nonsensical Ramblings. You guys hear us talk about it all the time on the Living with My Wife, Batman and Hip Hop podcast. Hello, Mr. Nathan. Welcome.
Hello. Good to be here. I'm excited. Pretty excited, actually. I've been meaning to get on the interviews and the podcast and everything for a while now. So
Interviews and
yeah.
podcasts. That's awesome. So I got some questions for you and all that good stuff.
All right.
As per usual, you said you watched some of the interview. You know what we do here.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So my first question for you is, how did you get involved with being a writer/editor at Nonsensical Ramblings?
So when I first came on, I think it started out with 2 editors, Wes Walker and Cody Butler. They were my 2 editors for a while.
Okay.
And they had the site, and they were already doing some movie reviews, some music reviews, some game reviews, stuff like that. And it was around the time that Batman vs. Superman came out, and I was just commenting a lot on some of their stuff that they were posting, and at the time they were looking for writers, and they knew I was a really big Batman fan. So they asked me if I wanted to do a review on how Ben Affleck was as Batman. They were already doing the movie review, but they wanted to go a little more in-depth with it and just look at him as a character, and they knew I knew stuff about it. So I said sure, and I actually ended up seeing the movie before both of them did, because I was at that movie like day one. Like as soon as they announced the tickets were for sale, I got them. And I went to see it on the early preview. So not like it comes out on a Friday, but I went to see it on a Thursday technically, because it was like midnight on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and I actually didn't. I ended up writing the Batman review, but I wrote another review before that over what happened in the nightmare sequence, which was when the Flash appears to Bruce Wayne in his office and stuff like that, and or in the Batcave, and. I needed it. I like no one else had posted anything about it. The movie was fresh, and I had just seen it, so I was like, okay, well, I'll type it up tonight, and I'll get them to post it tomorrow. And I got them to post it that day, and it actually blew up on the site. Like it got more hits than mostly because it was topical too. Like the movie had just come out, so everyone was looking for links and stuff on it, and it became one of their biggest, most viewed articles ever. And so they brought me on like that as a regular writer.
That's awesome.
And that's pretty much how it happened. So I wrote the Batman review, and then they just asked me to stay on, and just any movies I saw. Back in the day, we were like one of us could at least get to a movie a week, or 2 or 3. So when a new movie came out, or something, or anything really came out, we would message each other and see who was going to do what movie. So I think I know it was later, but when Suicide Squad came out, like they were saying, okay, who's going to see Suicide Squad this week? Is anyone going to the opening? And we communicate our times and stuff like that. And then if none of us were seeing a movie that week, we'd say, okay, well maybe you should write like a think piece or something like that, or just update the news or something like that. And we'd always have content coming in and out. And that's kind of how I got started with them. And they were just, they acted as my editors at the time, because I was just a writer right then. I would edit it. I wouldn't even proofread it. I'd upload it, and I'd just say, okay, you guys go and proofread it, and then you guys can post it. They would take care of all the pictures, the editing, everything like that.
So you guys are serious over there at Nonsensical Ramblings, and you guys go back, proofread, and all kinds of stuff like that?
Oh yeah, we proofread all the time.
Wow.
Actually, we put editors' notes in the drafts and stuff like that, and go back over it and stuff like that. It gets pretty funny sometimes.
That's
because
awesome.
like we learn each other's writing habits and stuff like that. So like Wes is a real big fan of like I forget the name of that comma that comes after and. See, I should know this because I write. But the name escapes me right now. I'm having a brain fart. But anyways, Oxford comma. He's a huge big fan of that. But he uses it like so much, and I almost never use an Oxford comma. So I always go in and I take out all his Oxford commas that I see, and I'll put a note in and say you use way too many commas here. He'd go back in and edit over. So the piece would for hours we'd be like competing with each other on like who's got a better idea of their grammar and stuff like that, or what was coherent, and then occasionally we'll also give each other kind of like a hint on the tone of the review too.
Yeah.
Like I know he did one time one of us did, I don't know if it was Wes or me, no, it might have been Wes, I'm not sure, did like a children's movie review. It was like the Angry Birds movie, might have been. Anyways, he just trashed it. And I was like, I go in and I read it and I was like, I really liked your review and it was great and the grammar was great. And I was like, I think you're being a little bit harsh on, because it's a kid's movie.
Right.
So I think you're really judging it by like cinema like gold standards, and it's not really going for that. So and he took a look at it. He's like, yeah, I think you're right, because he really did like just wrote this. I mean, he was like a scathing review, and he still like expressed his opinions, but he did it in a much nicer way, I think, and cut it a little more slack because he's like, okay, we're not trying to win any Oscars here or anything like that. So yeah, we go back over stuff all the time over on that website.
That's
all
pretty
the time.
awesome. Well, that leads me into my next question. Do you feel you could get a job as a journalist by John Jonah Jameson at the Daily Bugle?
As a journalist, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, probably.
Because I don't know if you do photography, so I.
Yeah, no, well, that's the thing. So he was real obsessed with like what was happening, like really topical stuff, and he loved to write like scathing stuff about like just the superheroes or spin questions and stuff over what was happening over Spider-Man and stuff like that.
Would you bring yourself to dog out Spider-Man?
Yeah, I think so, because I think I could, because I think he'd like me, because I do of that a lot with a lot of my. If I really like a hero or any kind of comic book or fiction in general, then I really get into what they're about and kind of their moral standards and what they say they're about and stuff like that. So if it ever came a time, and normally I'm pretty nice about it, but if there ever came a time where, and especially what he did, I liked that he questioned everything Spider-Man did. So like, if there ever came a time where it looked like Spider-Man was doing something wrong, then I would definitely probably write something about it and be like, yeah, he probably, like, what was it in the old, the Sam Raimi movies, where, oh no, that was edited. Never mind. Well, I was gonna say, like, whenever Brock like had the pictures of Spider-Man, he was coming out of the bank and he had the vault and he had the briefcase and it looked like he was stealing money. I wouldn't go so far as to edit pictures like that or anything and write a review of it.
That was low.
Yeah, but if I saw Spider-Man do something questionable like that, I would not hesitate to like write about. He really shouldn't be if he's gonna do one thing and say this, he needs to stick to it. He needs to not be making these questionable decisions and stuff like that. So I think he'd probably like me, but I don't think he liked me as much as he liked like Brock or anything like Eddie Brock, because I think he'd I wouldn't fudge it. I'd question it, but I wouldn't go as far as to make fake pictures or really put a spin on it that wasn't entirely truthful. I think I like to try and keep my integrity intact mostly.
I can dig that. I don't know if I could slaughter Spider-Man either. So.
Yeah, it's pretty hard, but you definitely got. I think every superhero should be questioned, a little bit about what they're doing and if what they're doing is right, and really kind of they are vigilantes in a way, So
right.
If they should even be making the calls they do, that was one thing. I know the movie gets a lot of bad talk about it, but one thing I really liked was in Batman vs Superman, whenever Superman was watching all the reviews and stuff, and they were asking the question like, should there even be a Superman, because he's not going by any government, he's just doing what he wants, and should he be doing what he wants? So I'd be kind of that kind of journalist, like
I can dig that,
asking that kind of question.
You'd hold them accountable.
Yeah, I'd hold their accountability more than I would really slam them.
Well, then I can completely respect that, and just on the record, I fucking love the Batman vs Superman film.
Yeah, me too. I really like it too.
It's amazing to me. Whatever, forget the haters. All right. So my next question is, what are your goals personally and as a team with your camp over there at Nonsensical Ramblings, what are your guys' goals for the future with the website?
Well,
do you guys have any? Or?
Yeah, we actually talked about it when I first came on, because they kind of asked me, where do you want to go with this? And they kind of do it as like a more passion project. They don't really, we're not really serious, like if it goes anywhere, like to try and, how should I put it? Like if it goes somewhere, if it does blow up, if we got like advertising revenue or people were sponsoring us or paying us to do it, then we would take it, super seriously.
Yes.
And all that. But at the same time, we're really laid back. We're more casual, so it's not like we're really like, oh, got to make these deadlines, or oh, gotta be at the movie premiere that night of every single new movie. We're more laid back.
You guys do it because you love it.
Yeah.
Which I feel is always going to give you the best content.
Yeah. So that we feel that way too. So really, the goals we have with the website. I know we wanted to get some video editing segments up. I know we did want to do some podcasting stuff in the late future. Yeah, I know, right? So, and then really just to kind of keep it loose and laid back, maybe recruit a few more writers and stuff like that. And I guess you could say the ultimate goal would be, what everyone wants to do is get paid to do it, right? So,
yes, get paid to do what you love.
So if someone wants to sponsor us, then, feel free. So
feel free. All right, I can dig that. I can dig that. All right, so they might not know what we're talking about when we're talking about Nonsensical Ramblings. I talk about it all the time on the podcast. I may not do it the justice it deserves. So, from your mouth, tell us, what is Nonsensical Ramblings?
Nonsensical Ramblings is a review-based website that covers bi-weekly news in pop culture. So any kind of new movie that releases, and it doesn't even have to be necessarily pop culture. We just do movie reviews. That was what we mainly started out on. But we'll also do music, the newest video games. We're really just kind of a review website where we go over everything. But on the same hand, we're not just a review website. That's just what our main focus, I guess, would be. But on the other hand, we've also got these things called think pieces and news updates where we kind of just say whatever whoever's writing it feels. We'll go over, weekly news like casting calls or director changes, stuff like that, or just take a look at old movies and how they affected, like, cinema and history or music history, stuff like that. And that's where we get kind of creative with it. That's more of like a creative writing side. So I guess we really classify us as like a review-based website with a creative writing kind of tabs to it.
Right, and I can dig that. The reason I giggled, man, is I noticed a fly.
Oh yeah, I saw
I see you just kind of like trying to be professional and dodge it. Also, if I'm smoking you out, man, just feel free to tell me.
It's all good.
Right on. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that they knew.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Exactly what it was, because I'm not the best with my reviews. A lot of times I've noticed that it consists of I fucking love it or that's great.
Yeah, we're pretty opinionated too, and each writer kind of digs on each other for what we like and what we don't like. Like I know Wes is a big defender of like the Transformers series.
Oh God,
I know, right? That's what I say.
Why?
So no, we make fun of him endlessly for it, but he'll stick up for it because he's all like it's entertainment and they're good movies, but at the same time I can't because like he wasn't too big on like Batman vs Superman or Suicide Squad or the DCEU.
I guess he just doesn't have taste.
Yeah.
Now Suicide Squad, we'll talk about it on the cast.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that. Okay, so if you guys were the Justice League, your little members in your team,
yeah,
who would you guys be?
Oh man,
and not by personal preference. I'm saying personality-wise, who are you? Be honest.
Well, there's only 3 of us, so I'd have to pick 3 members for the Justice League.
Okay.
Let's see. Cody's kind of our leader.
Okay.
So he'd probably be around our Batman, probably.
All right.
Because he's kind of like, this is what we're doing, and he's the admin, really, for the site and stuff like that. And, I think he'd be our Batman.
I can dig that.
Wes is more friendly, I guess. He's more kind of he can go off topic a lot. He's very opinionated, though. He'd probably be like a Green Lantern, probably. He likes what he likes, and he's very, very whimsical about it when he does.
Whimsical.
But he'll also be really, opinionated if he doesn't like something. And GL kind of has kind of a mouth on him, too, so.
Yes.
Who would I be? Probably like, probably the Flash, because I'm a lot like Wes, and if I really don't like something, I'll really say I don't like it. But I'm also pretty laid back on my reviews and stuff like that. I'm not too... I don't know. I'm a little analytical, so I think it kind of goes with his science side.
Yeah.
Because he picks things apart really and looks at all the aspects of it. So I'm more analytical than I think Wes is.
I love it.
But Cody, I think, is more analytical than me, so he'd definitely be kind of the Batman and kind of runs the show and stuff like that. So.
I love that you were honest, because if you were to ask me who are we, I'm Batman.
Yeah, right.
Off top, I don't care.
Yeah, they both know I love Batman, so they probably are like, he's lying right now. Don't believe him.
Yeah. All right. Which brings me to, what makes Batman your favorite hero?
I really like. It's kind of a mixture of what he does along with the way he's written. Because first off, the best way I've ever heard it put, and this kind of goes into him too, but it's for DC in general, is that Marvel makes humans into. It's like reading a comic book about a person trying to deal with also being a superhero. And DC makes comic books about superheroes trying to deal with also being a person on the side.
Okay.
So that's what I kind of like about. Yeah, that's what I kind of like about, and that goes into Batman. But like I said, it's kind of everything in DC. But I kind of like it because and like most characters in DC does. Bruce Wayne's more his alter ego. I mean, if you stripped everything away from him, if you took all the Batcave away and the suit away and stuff like that, I mean, he's essentially still this ninja guy. Yes. And he didn't get it. And I like it because he trained, you could still even take away his money. He'd still be Batman because he ran off. He didn't just stay. He didn't use his money when he was training. He ran off and kind of came up from poverty and nothing and trained with all these ways. And he had his money to fall back on when he came back, but he only used it for crime fighting. He never used it to be who he was. So I kind of like that about Batman, that he's kind of, if you strip everything away from him, he's still who he is at his core. Yeah. Another thing I really like about him is that he, and what drew me to him first, I think, is that he was among all these gods, basically, like Superman, Green Lantern, Flash, all these powers, and he is still one of the most relevant, a founding Trinity member of the Justice League, and he's got no superpowers. And, DC kind of makes their average humans a little stronger than the average human. And, Batman obviously is very strong and, peak human condition and stuff like that. But, compared to everyone else he's always working with, I mean, what drew me to him was that he figured out, he used his brain more. He didn't have super speed to rely on. He didn't have super strength to, have to worry about this stuff. He always had to problem solve. And I really like seeing that in comic books, was how he was problem solving. And whenever he solves a crime or defeats a bad guy, he uses his head and thinks tactically, how can I do it? I kind of just like sneaky characters in general, and he's got to be the sneakiest in DC, I think. I mean, he can hide from Superman and Martian Manhunter and stuff like that.
You have to have some skills for.
Yeah, so you got to be pretty good at it. So I like that. I like how he's smart. I like that he's not got superpowers, and that he has to figure it out kind of on his own. And I think it's more relatable.
I do too. Yeah. I think what fuels my love for Batman is especially the way his stories are written. They're just gritty, they're raw, they're dark. Especially.
He's had all the biggest DC guys on his book. I mean, anyone, Jeff Johns, Jim Morrison, all of them. I mean, anyone Neil Gaiman, Frank Miller. That? Yeah, I mean, all of them have been on his comic books at one point, and those are guys that are have run the DC universe at one point. They were the editor-in-chief of the DC comic books, and they've all looked at his comic book specifically and written on them. So, yeah, he's definitely got some of the best stories out there, I think, for sure.
Dark Knight Returns being my favorite depiction of Batman of all time.
Yeah, that's a really good comic book. So, yeah.
If you,
this is kind of before Frank Miller went all crazy on us.
Yes.
Crazy, and then kind of reeled back in after he stopped selling books, and now it's I don't know where he's selling them, but... Yeah, Dark Knight Returns is really good. I always just like all of Batman's catalog, Year One.
Yes. Go ahead and plug your favorite story.
My favorite Batman story?
Let's do that. That'll be interesting.
Um,
Of all time. I know Kirk's, just to give him some love, is The Court of Owls.
Court of Owls is a great
Mine's The
story.
Dark Knight Returns. There is no better Batman. I will tell you that.
I kind of like, I would say... Okay, so it's two technically, but it's all the same story.
Yes.
And that would be The Long Halloween and Dark Victory. I think would be my two.
That's Ed
favorite.
Ed Brubaker wrote The Long Halloween? Am I incorrect? I think I'm incorrect. Let me take that back.
You're going to drive
Let
me
me
crazy.
take that back.
Jeff Loeb wrote The Long Halloween and Dark Victory. I believe he wrote Long Halloween. I know he wrote Dark Victory, and I'm pretty sure it was the same writers.
Yeah, I think I'm incorrect when I...
Yeah, I really like Loeb's Batman. I think he's one of the better, if not the best incarnation of him, just because he's more... I like the Batman that kind of does stuff off screen, I guess you could say.
Okay.
So like one of my favorite scenes is in Dark Victory, and it's whenever Batman's going to go interrogate a guy, like a typical mob boss or something like that. He knows something, and the mob boss is sitting at his desk, and he calls for like his aide or something. Batman just appears before him in the dark room, and all the lights go out, and it's Batman that he's standing there, and the mob boss is like typically. Batman asks him some questions, and the mob boss is lying to him and stuff, but he's not doing anything or whatever like that. And he reaches under the desk and he tries to pull the trigger of a gun.
Yes.
And the hammers just click. And Batman hears that, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna need these." And he pulls out the bullets to the gun because he'd already taken them. Yeah, before he took them out. And then he's like, "And now you got a problem with me, right?" And and it gets all serious on him. And it doesn't show you him beating the guy up for information, and it doesn't show you him being in the room, and doing all the stuff. Like taking the bullets out of the gun and setting up the room for him and stuff like that. It just, the implied Batman there, that he's so good that he already knew, you saw from the villain's perspective, that he already knew the gun was there. He already took the bullets out of the gun.
Yes.
And then in the next panel over, after he says, "You've got a problem with me," he's back in the Batcave and he's got the information. So he basically tortured the guy or whatever. Yeah, what went down, but you didn't actually see it. And I always like that kind of, it's more of an element of mystery, I feel. To Batman as well, because it's like it leaves you. I think it's better when sometimes comics leave it up to the imagination.
Yes, that's
and they
great.
say, because whatever you fill in your head, whatever he did to that guy, or whatever he was there, it's gonna be way better than what they showed you on the page, because you just got unlimited options, So
you are killing me on this interview. You are spawning so many questions within my head that I have for you.
Ask away, man. I got time.
Well, okay. I'm going to ask I'm going to save some for the podcast. But you have spawned one. Now I'm going to spit the next question I had because it kind of goes with this.
All right.
Now you can answer them both separately, or you can answer them as one. Okay. So the next question I was going to ask is, who is Marvel's equivalent to Batman? But you spawned the question, the sub-question, I guess I'll say. What Marvel superhero do you feel could handle Batman's world? Gotham City could handle the villains like Batman does. And I will go ahead and plug, obviously, my second favorite hero. Now, he's not Batman by any means.
Gotcha.
But do you want to guess?
Daredevil.
Yes, thank you. Is that because you knew my second favorite already? Or?
No, because I knew who was going to be the Batman equivalent. Because they're.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
I like you. He's a good guy.
Daredevil, I think, he's more of a Nightwing level character, I feel. Nightwing's a little stronger than Daredevil, I feel.
What?
Yeah, because Nightwing can take Batman, and was trained by Batman, and I don't feel like Daredevil could take Batman like.
Imagine if Stick didn't exist and Bruce Wayne picked up Daredevil.
See, then I feel like you'd have exactly Nightwing.
Okay, so this is part 2 of Let's Do an Interview, episode number 5.
I think so.
Sorry, guys, we had problems, storage and stuff. So. Anyway, we left off with me asking you who would be the equivalent, Marvel's equivalent of Batman, and you said Daredevil, correct?
Yeah. Okay. I feel like it would be Daredevil.
And then you do feel that he would be the one to handle?
Yeah, I feel like
world.
Gotham and the Hell's Kitchen that they paint in the Marvel's comic book is pretty similar to what they deal with.
I'm just saying, can you imagine Daredevil and Falcone going at it? That'd be nice.
Yeah, that's like quite what he does. So yes. I feel like it's definitely Daredevil would be Marvel's equivalent.
I feel Joker could get under his skin though. That's the only scary part. I feel Joker could possibly get to the guy.
I think that Daredevil's a little more ambiguous when it comes to his no-kill rule. I'm not sure, but he may have killed in the past.
I think
out
he
of
has.
necessity.
He's ran a gang before. He defeated the Hand and then took over the Hand.
Yeah.
And it got so bad that he had to leave Hell's Kitchen and Black Panther had to come take over.
Yeah. So I think that if the Joker did get under his skin, I think it's within Daredevil's wheelhouse to really like go and just kill him. So there wouldn't, and that kind of goes with like a lot of superheroes, even in the DC universe too. Because I know Superman gets on to Batman like all the time for leaving Joker alive, and how many lives. And it's the big question: how many lives would you have saved if you had just killed this one guy versus letting him get out again and again and again?
Could you hand me that charger?
Yeah. But my big contention with that, and not to get off on a tangent here.
That's cool tangent.
But,
or a nonsensical.
Yeah, or nonsensical rambling, if you will.
You got to stay on plugs. It's all about plugs.
Is that so? Batman really. He kind of does kill criminals in a way. So, like, he's just not the executioner himself. But he's fine with actually handing him over to the justice system, beaten and battered and stuff like that.
Yes.
So, it's really not his fault that the Joker is still around and that he keeps getting sent back to Arkham on an insanity plea and stuff like that. It's really more of the justice system failing to do their jobs. Because in real life, if a Joker had killed that many people and they caught him, they would have been like, you're getting the death penalty like that. It would have been immediate. That. So really, Batman he's not doing it himself. He's not executing them himself, but he is fine with handing them over knowing that they would get the death penalty. And I think he's in a way expecting that on some of them, and they just don't do it. And then he's left with the question of, well, why are you putting it on me to be the bad guy here and do it when it could just be that you guys are the ones not doing it? So I feel like he is in a way that should be his response to Superman or anyone asking him, how many lives would you have saved? And he's like, well, I would have saved them 10 times over if they would have just done their job. And that's kind of the whole point of his comic, I feel, is that he spawns out of necessity because there was so much corruption and because there is, and that's why he sticks around because if he ever retires or something like that in the near future, and it would be because, Gotham doesn't need a Batman anymore. And for Gotham not to need a Batman anymore, that would mean there's no corruption in their justice system.
Definitely.
And, the judges are executing the people they need to execute. The legal system's working.
Oh, man.
So that's kind of how I feel about his no-kill rule, just to get off on a nonsensical rambling.
You are working me right now. If I was a woman, you would be seducing me the right fucking way.
Yeah.
All I'm saying right now. Okay, so, which brings me to my next question. I'm going to take it deep.
All right.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. What hero do you feel we need in today's society?
In today's society,
Do you feel there's a hero that can change things?
Yeah, I think we could probably use...
I'm going to go with Captain Universe. I'm joking. Isn't that guy... from like an old TV, anyway.
No, that's Planet I think you're thinking of.
Captain Planet. Go ahead. Seriously.
I don't think he could be as sneaky as Batman and get away with it. Because I think in today's society, you probably need someone a little more bolder, who's willing to show his face and come out and publicly speak and tell him what he stands for. And is willing to call out wrong people without going too far over the line himself. So I really think what we could use in today's society would be someone that's willing to speak on more of a national platform than it would be on a day-to-day platform. So with that in mind, it'd probably be any of the ambassador characters like Aquaman or Wonder Woman.
Okay.
And then obviously the top two nationalists would be Superman and Captain America. I feel like any four of them would be kind of what we need today. Someone to kind of, when the government gets out of hand, you can't just... Because Batman would probably be viewed as more like a domestic terrorist in today's society. Flash is too low to the ground, I feel, because he likes to maintain a secret identity. So I feel it need to be someone that doesn't really care too much about a secret identity, and at the same time is willing to call out governments on what they're doing and have the power to just kind of back it up. Like, if someone fired nukes at another country and was trying to start World War III, I feel like we'd need like Superman or someone to come in there, because he'd be like, you're not doing this because I said you're not doing this, and there's nothing you guys can really do about it. I'll just dismantle all your nukes and if I wanted to, and that would kind of keep him in line. So I think he needs to be strong. I think they would need to be strong enough to keep him in check, but I also think they need to be on a political platform enough to really voice valid opinions that people would listen to. So any of the so I think any of the ambassador characters like Wonder Woman or Aquaman, and then the two nationalist characters like Captain America or Superman.
I can dig that, and I really like your choice of Wonder Woman and Aquaman, because a problem I see us having is Superman and Cap are obviously going to protect the United States of America.
Yeah.
Which is going to leave, I'm talking the entire universe, the whole entire world and universe if we have problems with that. You know, which Wonder Woman and Aquaman aren't really particular to anything aside from Atlantis and, you know.
And Wonder Woman's pretty good choice too, because her whole thing is being an ambassador of peace among all of mankind.
Yes.
So she wouldn't just work. She doesn't just work with one country. She, goes to the UN and stuff and speaks like that on a national stage.
Thank you, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, for real. So I feel like she's a pretty good choice for it, and Aquaman's a pretty good choice because he just, he has a whole country behind him. He's used to leading and doing the right thing, and he's gotten by so far, leading his people into a golden age without having to wage too many wars and stuff like that. And he's got enough political pull because he's got 70% of the earth is basically his kingdom. So, I feel like he has a lot of pull where he says, if you guys don't get in line, then I'm going to stop helping you. And if I stop helping you, you guys are going to have some problems. So I feel like he's got enough pull to do it.
I can dig that.
Yeah, I think those four characters would be the four. Any four of those would be my choices.
Because Cap was on my list, so
you
did very well. I applaud that. Good job. All right. Well, I have one last question for you. This Let's Do an Interview. And that question is, what was the best part of your day? It's a little tradition we do at the end of every interview. What was the best part of your day?
The best part of my day today was it was actually my mother's birthday today.
Sweet.
So happy birthday, Mom. I know you're not going to listen to this.
Happy birthday.
So we went out and ate at like a Main Street Tavern.
How was that?
Oh man, it's great. It's fantastic. It's the one in Claremore. So it's like a kind of burger joint, I guess, and bar foods too. I had a jalapeno and cream cheese burger, and it was just fantastic.
Sounds amazing.
Huge. It was amazing. Yeah, it was delicious. So that's probably the best part of my day.
Okay.
Was spending time with her and going out for her birthday.
Sweet. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Nothing besides my website, which is NonsensicalRamblings.com. It's spelled exactly the way both those words are spelled, all one word, because it's URL, so obviously.
I like how you chose not to spell it out, just both the way they're spelled.
Because I'll mess it up. And
I know,
everyone will type it in, and so
smart.
if you mess it up, it's on you, because you should know how to spell this. I don't have to prove anything.
I have it spelled like 3 different ways in my notes right
so
now.
I won't do it. I'll just let them look it up if they want to look it up. But yeah, we gotta just check out the website. We've got a lot of articles out there. The new It review is out for the It movie. It was fantastic. We got some think pieces up. What makes a good villain? We got new video games up. Destiny 2. I've been on that all week. I've never gotten so little sleep in my life. So yeah, we'll just check out the website.
Okay, definitely. Well, this has been Let's Do an Interview, episode number 5. I am Sean, something to write to Lewis. This is Nathan. You can check us out, Nathan of Nonsensical Rambling. I just feel like that sounds better. You can check us out on YouTube at Geek World Network, on SoundCloud at Geek World Network. You can like and follow our page on Facebook at Comic Caster, because I'm a Comic Caster guy. That's me. I don't know our Twitch, so we have one. That's where we're going to be doing our live streams from now on. You'll get that later. Thank you guys. And stay classy, Comic Caster kiddos. And see what sucks is I usually have a cameraman.
Yeah,
so now I gotta get up and that was great.
Awesome.
And no video editing software. I'm gonna try to get a SIG from my neighbor. You wanna share a SIG before we cast?
Yes, definitely. Let me go move this microphone.
How did you feel it went? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, definitely.
So we're going to record through your phone, correct?
Yes.
All right, then I'm going to go ahead and start uploading to you.